Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. And today we are going super deep on blockchain.
Blockchain.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, another blockchain explainer, but stick with us.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good one. Whether you're prepping for like a meeting or trying to, sound smart in front of your friends, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We're going to give you some fascinating insights. We're using this really awesome article from Binance Academy as our guide today.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And let me tell you, there's some seriously cool stuff in here. Okay.
Okay.
So, did you know blockchain actually predates Bitcoin?
It does.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah.
So we're going to get into that. And also, like, the crazy cryptography behind it all.
Yes.
And how this technology goes way beyond just cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that's the thing. People kind of get stuck on that a little bit.
Yeah, currency, yeah.
But it's so much more than that.
So much more. Okay, so we'll start with the basics. What is blockchain? This Binance Academy article.
Describes it as this like special kind of database.
Right.
That doesn't really do it justice, though.
No, it's not very exciting, is it?
It's not exciting.
It's more like a digital ledger, like a shared one that's constantly being updated and verified by a network of computers.
So it's like this spreadsheet that's duplicated like thousands of times across the internet.
Yeah, think of it that way.
Yeah.
And every time a change is made, everybody gets that update, like simultaneously.
So it's not like a bank has their central database.
Exactly.
And that could theoretically get hacked.
Yeah. That's what's so cool about blockchain.
Okay.
It's that there's no single point of failure.
Okay.
So that makes it super secure.
And this idea isn't even new.
Well, that's the thing. That's what's so wild is that way back in the early 90s, Stuart Haber and W. Scott Stornetta, they were already using cryptography to like secure these digital documents. Yeah, they were kind of creating this early prototype of what we know as blockchain today.
That's so crazy.
Isn't that interesting?
That is wild. So like, why did it take until Bitcoin?
Well, Bitcoin kind of combined this secure, decentralized ledger with the idea of cryptocurrency. It was like showing the world a way to actually USE blockchain.
Yeah.
And it really got people thinking about money and value in a totally different way.
So Bitcoin was like the tipping point.
It was like the aha moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the article lists all these benefits of blockchain, like decentralization, transparency, immutability. Like, can we break those down? What makes those?
Yeah, let's break it down. So decentralization basically means no single person or entity controls the blockchain. So it's like a digital democracy, where everyone kind of has a say. And that makes it really resilient to attacks or manipulation.
So it's kind of like a network of roads versus one bridge.
That's a good analogy.
Like you can...
Yeah, if one road gets blocked, you can still get around.
Yeah.
But if that bridge goes down, you're stuck.
You're done.
You're done.
Exactly. And then transparency.
So transparency. Every transaction on a public blockchain is viewable by anyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's like this public record.
Okay,
right. It fosters trust and accountability.
So it's like...
Because you can't hide anything. It's all out there.
Okay.
And then immutability. So once a transaction is added to the blockchain, it's virtually impossible to alter.
Okay.
Like it's like carving something in stone,
So it's permanent.
It's permanent, tamper-proof record.
Wow. Okay, so like how does it actually work?
Okay, so let's say you want to send some Bitcoin to...
I want to do some Bitcoin.
You want to send me some Bitcoin?
What happens?
All right, so think of it...
Behind the scenes.
Like sending a message to everybody, right? It's not like a private email. It's like you're shouting it from the rooftops.
Okay.
So your transaction request gets broadcast to the entire network of computers, these nodes.
Oh, so anyone can see my transaction?
Well, not exactly. They can see that a transaction happened, but they don't see your personal info. It's more like they know a package was delivered, but they don't know what's inside.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Okay, so my transaction is out there. What's next?
So each node on the network... They verify your transaction. They make sure you have the funds. Everything's legit. And this process, this is crucial for keeping the blockchain secure.
So is it like 1,000 accountants are all double checking?
1,000 accountants, I like
folks at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So once that transaction is verified, then it gets grouped together with a bunch of other transactions into a block.
Like putting together pieces of a puzzle.
Exactly, you got it. And these blocks, they're chained together in chronological order. Each block has a unique kind of cryptographic fingerprint.
Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff.
I know, right?
Cryptography.
That's the really juicy part.
It's so complex and mysterious.
It sounds so cool, right? Like something out of a spy movie.
So is it really as mind-blowing as it seems?
It really is, yeah. So cryptography, it's kind of like the backbone of blockchain security.
Okay.
And it's basically using these complex mathematical functions to secure information.
So it's like a secret code almost?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So one of the key elements is hashing.
Hashing. So is that like turning data into a secret code?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's this one-way function that takes any input, right? Like, let's say your transaction details.
Okay.
And it turns it into this unique string of characters called a hash.
So it's like a fingerprint for the data.
Exactly, like a fingerprint.
Okay.
And here's what's amazing. Even the tiniest little change in the input results in a completely different hash.
Really?
The Binance Academy article has this great example where they just change one letter in a sentence.
Right.
And it completely changes the entire hash.
Wow.
It's pretty wild.
So if someone tried to like mess with a transaction, change a single character,
exactly,
the whole hash would change.
The hash would change and everyone would know.
Everybody would know
that something's fishy.
Okay.
Right. And because each block includes the hash of the previous block, if you try to mess with one, you'd have to change all the ones that come after it.
Which is basically impossible.
Yeah, basically impossible.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
It's so impressive. Okay, so there's like thousands of computers involved.
Right. Yeah.
How do they all agree on which transactions are valid?
Yeah.
And like what order to add them?
Yeah. That's where we get into consensus mechanisms.
Consensus mechanisms.
Yeah. They're like the rules of the game, right? They make sure everyone's playing fair.
So it's like a referee.
Exactly. Like a digital referee.
Making sure
nobody's cheating.
Yeah.
So there's different types of consensus mechanisms, each with its own, pros and cons.
Okay.
But the two most common ones that you'll hear about are proof of work and proof of stake.
Have you?
Okay.
I'm still a little fuzzy.
All right. So proof of work, think of it as this massive puzzle competition.
Okay.
Right? You got thousands of computers racing to solve this complex math problem.
Wow.
Whoever solves it first gets to add the next block to the blockchain, and they get rewarded with some crypto.
So it's like a digital gold rush?
Yeah, like a gold rush.
Where people are like mining?
Mining, exactly. They're mining for these blocks.
Okay, that's super cool.
So this system, it's super secure, but it does use a lot of energy.
Oh, okay.
Which has led to some concerns about, the environmental impact.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So
that's where proof of stake comes in.
That's where proof of stake comes in, yeah. So instead of all that crazy computing power, proof of stake is more like a voting system based on ownership.
All right.
So validators are chosen to add blocks based on how much cryptocurrency they stake.
So like putting your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. You're invested in the network's security.
Wow.
The more you stake, the better your chances of being chosen to validate transactions.
And you get rewarded for that.
And you get rewarded, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And because it doesn't need all that crazy computing power, it's way more eco-friendly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So we've got these different ways to keep the blockchain secure and running.
Keeping everything running smoothly.
But the Binance Academy article also mentions different types of blockchains.
Oh, yeah.
Public, private, and consortium.
Right.
That's a difference.
So it's all about who has access and who's in control. Public blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're open to anyone. Anyone can join the network, help validate transactions.
So it's all about transparency and like...
Transparency, equal access.
Equal access.
It's like a public park, you know? Everyone's welcome.
Gotcha.
But then you have private blockchains. These are controlled by a single entity, maybe a company or an organization. So you need permission to join.
So it's more like a private club.
It's like a private club, yeah. With a very exclusive guest list.
So a company might use a private blockchain.
Yeah, they might use it to manage their data internally, keep things running smoothly, but also very private.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and then there's consortium blockchains.
Okay.
These are kind of like a partnership. Right. They're governed by a group of organizations.
Interesting.
It's kind of like a balance between the openness of a public blockchain and the control of a private one.
Okay.
So imagine a bunch of companies in the same industry collaborating on a blockchain to streamline their supply chain.
Okay, so we've got public parks, private clubs, partnerships. Like
exactly.
A blockchain for every occasion.
A blockchain for everyone. I love that.
So let's get to the really exciting stuff.
All right, let's do it.
What can we do with all of this?
Yeah.
It's not just about cryptocurrencies.
Well, no. This is just the beginning.
Okay.
Cryptocurrencies are a great example, but it goes way beyond that.
Okay.
We're really just scratching the surface of what blockchain can do.
Okay. Let's dive into some
All right, let's dive in.
implications then.
Let's do it. So one that's gaining a lot of traction is tokenization. Tokenization. Okay.
So think of it like creating a digital representation of a real-world asset.
Yeah. On the blockchain.
On a blockchain. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So instead of owning like a physical share certificate, I could own a token.
You could have a token
that represents my share of a company.
Exactly. Or imagine a piece of real estate.
Okay.
And you divide up ownership into tokens.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
And then instead of needing millions of dollars to invest, people could buy little pieces of it.
Wow. So it makes it more accessible.
Way more accessible.
To people.
Yeah, it democratizes it.
Yeah. That's a really interesting concept.
And because those tokens are on the blockchain, it's all secure, transparent.
Reduces fraud.
Increases efficiency.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
It's really cool.
For sure.
So tokenization is going on my list to learn more about. Put it on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Well, what about all those data breaches and identity theft we hear about all the time?
Right.
Blockchain can actually help with that.
Really?
Yeah. So instead of relying on these centralized databases that are always getting hacked.
Yeah, constantly.
Imagine having control of your own data.
Right.
And you decide who gets to see what.
So it's like having a digital passport that I control.
Yeah, like a digital passport. You control it, not Facebook or Google.
Not Facebook.
Oh.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, so I could use that to like...
You can use it for anything. Verify your age.
Right.
Access your medical records. Prove your identity online.
That would be amazing.
Right. No more worrying about your data being sold.
Right. Or stolen.
Right.
Exactly.
So cool.
And it could streamline so many things.
Yeah.
Like even voting.
Ooh, voting. That's a big one.
That's a big one, right.
So blockchain could make voting way more secure.
I'll put that. Okay.
Yeah. Imagine every vote is recorded on the blockchain.
Wow.
No more fraud.
So
no more manipulation, total transparency.
We can really trust the results?
You could audit the results.
Wow. That would be a game changer.
It would be a game changer, for sure. Yeah. Especially these days, right?
Yeah, especially these days. Okay, so we've got secure investments, control over our data, tamper-proof elections. This is amazing.
Blockchain's like a superhero.
It's like a superhero.
Yeah.
What else is on the list?
All right, well, how about supply chain management?
Okay.
That's a big one. It's a very complex system.
Right.
Lots of moving parts. But blockchain can bring a lot of transparency and efficiency to the process.
So walk me through that. How does blockchain help?
Okay, so think about everything involved in getting a product from the factory to your doorstep.
Okay.
You've got suppliers, distributors, retailers. Blockchain can track every step.
Wow.
From the raw materials to the final sale.
So like I could track a coffee bean.
You could track a coffee bean.
From the farm it was grown on.
From the farm to your cup.
To my cup.
Exactly.
That's wild.
That's powerful stuff for consumers.
Yeah.
For businesses. Everybody wins.
Wow. This is incredible.
It's pretty amazing, right?
It feels like we're just scratching the surface.
It's possible. It's not just about the technology. It's about making the world a better place.
Right. It's about creating like a more transparent, more
secure, more equitable.
Right. An equitable world.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a lot to wrap my head around.
It's a lot.
But I'm feeling really inspired.
I'm glad. It's exciting stuff.
It is exciting. What advice would you give to someone who wants to learn more?
Oh, that's great. Well, first of all, just keep learning.
Keep learning.
Keep learning. There's so many great resources out there, like this Binance Academy article we've been talking about.
Right. They've got articles, videos, even interactive courses that break it all down.
Nice.
So it's easy to understand.
So dive in?
Just dive in. Explore.
Okay.
And as you learn more, Start thinking about the problems that you care about.
Right.
Could blockchain be part of the solution?
Yeah.
That's how we innovate.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just about understanding the tech. It's about
using it to make a difference.
Yeah, making a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you said earlier about proof of work and the environmental concerns.
Right.
It seems like proof of stake kind of addresses that.
It does.
But are there any other challenges or downsides?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
It's blockchain.
It's not all sunshine and roses.
Right.
So, yeah, proof of stake is definitely better for the environment.
Right.
But there are other things to think about.
Like what?
Well, scalability is a big one.
As these blockchain networks grow and they're handling more and more transactions,
right,
it can be tough to keep things running smoothly.
Okay.
There's a lot of research solving this.
Rush hour traffic?
Yeah, exactly.
On a digital highway?
Rush hour on the digital highway. I like that.
Yeah. The more cars on the road?
Yeah, the more cars, the slower it goes.
The slower it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then